Is it possible to be in bliss all of the time, no matter what, despite anything that's happening in your life? That's a question I think a lot of people ask. That's a question I've asked, and we're going to explore that today. And we're going to go even deeper and look at what really makes people happy and what really makes them unhappy. And I can pretty much guarantee you it's not what you would think. Might be the exact opposite of what you think. And then we're going to really look at how it's possible to live your bliss every day, to live what I would call blissfully, and what that looks like. So, hey, welcome. If you've never been here before, my name is Gavin. This is Blissflowly, and I teach people how to be happy no matter what and to live in their blissfully. And what that means is, living in a state of complete acceptance, allowing peace, joy, abundance, love, right? And letting go of all these illusions of fear, of issues, of attachment, of anxiety and worry, and allowing your life to unfold as it will, as it's been planned to unfold, okay? So, what I want to first do is kind of give you an intro to what I would describe as bliss, okay? And almost everybody knows what happiness is. Everybody knows like what joy is, but that's a definition that they've been taught. The most simplest way, and most people don't look at this, is like when you break things down, you can really start to begin to see, almost reverse engineer your life of like why things kind of happen the way they do. How do you perceive them? What are your beliefs about things? So let's look at joy. What would be your definition of joy right now? And most people would say when I'm like good, when I feel good, when I feel that things are going the way that I want, that I'm liking my life, I'm enjoying myself, I'm not in fear, right? Those would be the normal labels. And, I'd be interested to hear what yours are. Before we go deeper, comment, what's your idea of joy? And then let's take that a step further and look at bliss, okay? And bliss would be like a very heightened sense of joy, right? Would be the next level, an ascended level of absolute joy, bliss, okay? That there is no hint of hesitation, of concern, of worry, of doubt, of expectation, of attachment, okay? When you're in bliss, you are in complete trust that everything in that moment is absolutely perfect. You need nothing. And whatever seems to be showing up is something that you see as perfection, as non-judgment, as almost neutral. And that a true state of bliss has nothing to do with having life go the way you think it should. It has nothing to do with out there. It has everything to do within here, okay? Your mind and your soul and your heart, right? And a true sense of bliss is the absolute knowing in that moment who you are, the knowing that all is well, the knowing that you're not a body, the understanding and the complete knowledge that what is showing up is part of this, 3D illusion, and that it's not who you are, and that there's nothing out there that it can affect that joy within you, right? Now, there's going to be some things that I say in this video that might be triggering, that you might disagree with. And that's the whole point of this channel, is to help you change your perception. I'm creating this because this was the holy grail for me. Like, what am I missing? Like, I've done all these things, still wasn't that happy. I chased things, wasn't that happy, whether I got it or whether I didn't. And I was like, there's got to be a way to go through life that I actually enjoy the experience rather than like suffering, rather than feel like I'm not enough, rather than feel like I wish things were different. They could be better. Oh my gosh, all my problems will be solved when this happens, when, this is better. And, after many years of reading spiritual books and going, being coached, going to, all the different events that are out there, whether it's online or in person. And I just started understanding that, wherever we go, there we are. And that if I continued to try to make the outside world different to then be happy, it was always going to be conditional. Okay. So true bliss is never conditional. True joy is who we already are. So then that, leads to the next thing I want to talk about. Why are people really happy and why are they really unhappy? And why people are really happy is because, like I was just saying, that's actually who we are. That's the truth. That's what's, our soul is screaming to remember. But we get caught up in the perceptual world, in the 3D world, in society's idea of what we should be doing and this is going to make the difference. And we get caught in the trap of, not that there's anything wrong with these things. These are all neutral things, but whether it's your upbringing or school or jobs or relationships or money or chasing goals or trying to become this great manifester, these are all certain traps that keep you focused on something out there rather than what's already within. Okay. So, people think that it's conditional. Their happiness is conditional. When they've reached a certain level of goal achievement, of success, of getting life just situated the way they want, then they can feel some level of peace or accomplishment or feel happy, right? So unfortunately, all of us have bought into some level that our happiness is dependent, is conditional on certain things happening, which is complete illusion, which is absolutely not true. Okay. And that's why so many people are unhappy, because no matter what level, and I'm sure I'd love to hear this for you, what did you achieve? So for example, what's something that you thought would bring you great joy and radically change your life, that if it happened, then you would feel complete, then you would feel happy, then you had made it. And I'm sure all of us have had some level of what we would determine as success. So, share a comment. What did you think that would be the ultimate, that you actually got pretty close to, or it happened exactly that way? And then you were like, okay, well, what's next? Now I did this, now I got to go here. And it's always something else. It's always more. It's never enough. It's this, rabbit that always stays out in front of you that you're chasing. Okay. And eventually you have to see that, understand that. And if you always stay on that process, you're always going to be searching for something to be different in order to get a glimpse of joy, to be happy, to be blissful. And guess what? That is not a life of flow. That is a life of ups and downs, of anxiety, of fear, of need, of attachment. It's got to look this way. And if it doesn't, and just fighting to make it work that way. And guess what? It's one of the cool things about life that we get to do is that if you want to, do that, that's part of a lot of our journey. I wanted to do that for a long time. I wanted to go and create, and I wanted to go and make, and I wanted to go and achieve, and I wanted to see what was possible. And those are wonderful things, except for the big if on that is if your happiness is conditional upon those things happening. Go see what's possible, go achieve, go hit the goals, go manifest with the foundation that you're already happy. Okay, that you don't need any of those things to happen. And that's what this all is all about. I'm not saying don't experience life to the fullest. Don't go chase all the things it has to offer. But come from a complete place, from wholeness, from that all is well already, and that you don't need that to happen to be happy. And then the cool thing that transpires is everything becomes a journey that you enjoy, that you're enjoying that process up the mountain, and that you don't need it to look a certain way, which then it all starts working better because you're already happy. You're not chasing the happiness. You're chasing the fun. You're chasing the enjoyment, the adventure, the drama of it, even possibly. But you haven't forgotten that you're already happy. Okay. And so I really feel like the fourth thing I wanted to talk about today was like, how do you really live your bliss? And what's different about that compared to what you've been doing already? Well, again, subconsciously, unconsciously, most people are somewhat asleep thinking that like there's a certain way to live their life. If they do that, then they'll feel better about themselves. Other people will like love them more. They will feel like they've accomplished something, and then they will be seen and heard and loved, right? So at almost all levels, it's like trying to get ourselves to love ourselves and to get love from other people, right? And that's empty. That's an illusion. That's not true. That's not necessary. And when you start letting go of that, that's when your life can really begin. Because you start seeing the illusion for the illusion. You start detaching from needing things to look a certain way. And when you do that, you start to open yourself up to guidance. Your ego isn't in control of, okay, like everything has to be this way, and that you're going to force it. You get to then trust and allow what is trying to show up for you, what is possible for you. And then you can start paying attention to the signs, to the direction, to the map that like lots of different things, depending on how what you believe in, are actually trying to help you understand, see, witness, and make it easier. We make this so much harder than it needs to be. We think we have it figured out. We think based on like what other people tell us, which, you can learn a lot from people, but like, no, this is the way it should be. And this is what you need to do with your life. And this is what will make you happy. And it's like, no, like within you, you know what inspires you. You know what brings you joy. And at some level, at some period in your life, you're going to have to start letting go of the false things that have been thrown at you that aren't true, and see them for what they are. Basically trying to keep you stuck in what a lot of people would call the matrix, trying to keep you playing other people's game, trying to like make life about like the meaningless. So much of how we spend this time on this planet has nothing to do with love or abundance or joy. It's just getting through it. It's almost this giant distraction that we get glimpses here and here. So how do you live bliss always? You stop. Listen to this very carefully. You stop playing the game of out there, of needing anything out there to look different, to be better, to compare. And you start working on that inner game of, as often as you can, every moment of the day, of being in a good place right now. Bliss is now. Bliss isn't in the past. Bliss isn't in the future. Everything that's ever happened or will happen is right now. Okay, that's a whole nother video. But bliss is now. So if you can learn how to first like feel and understand where you're at in this moment, then you can start taking conscious, intentional steps to raise your vibration, raise your energy, and remember who you are in each moment. And what you'll notice is that when you put the focus on, like your thoughts, and you put your focus on your heart, and you go within, and you are able to carry that vibration, that joy, then everything you do becomes an opportunity for what I would call a miracle. It becomes an opportunity for unlimited possibility, becomes an opportunity to express who you are, love, right? So no matter what job you're in, no matter what relationship you're in, if you let go of the fears and you let go of the illusions and all these other things that so many people talk about, and I will be talking about that too, is that when you let go of the untruths, the truth of who you are is here right now in this moment, waiting to be felt, waiting to be known, waiting to be experienced. And that's, in a nutshell, the waking up process is, I always like to, I used to think, I'm just going to be awakened one day, right? And it was like this slow, like I woke up a little bit here, I woke up a little bit there, still a little groggy. And then, eventually like I've woken up more and more and more. And then I stay awake because there's times like I would be like, oh yes, I get it. And then, a week would go by, some hardships, some life stuff out there. And all of a sudden I'd be back down the rabbit hole, lost in my darkness, lost in victimness, lost in direction and purpose and who I am. And I'd forget again. I'd fall back to sleep. So really waking up is this constant process of awakening, remembering until you stay more awake. You don't go back to sleep. And if you do, you come back, very quickly. Okay. And each day you remember. So that bliss is a letting go of the past, a letting go of illusions, which then when you change your mindset on what you see and how you're feeling and what you're experiencing in each moment, the world around you drastically changes. The people, the events, the circumstances, and all of a sudden, that's the definition of a miracle, is a change in perception. When you're able to change your inner world, you will see a drastic change in your outer world. And at first, you won't really notice it. There'll be a little, gosh, this feels a little bit different. Work feels a little bit different. Gosh, my boss has been a little bit nicer to me. Or I'm getting along with my spouse better. Or, a friend that I haven't talked to forever that we used to have difficulties called me up out of the blue. There will be so many things that at first will just be like happenstance. And then you'll notice more and more. And you'll notice this is part of that awakening process towards living blissfully. That you let go of all the things that you think are blocking what's possible for you. And you open yourself up to the joy that's already here. Okay? So to give you some concrete steps on how to live blissfully right now, and I will have way more videos, and we're just getting started with this. And if you haven't come across here before, I'd love, like, subscribe if you get this far in the video. And I'm here, ask any questions in the comments. Like, I'm coming from service. I'm coming from love. I'm coming from this is my purpose, is to learn this, live this, teach this, okay? So ask me whatever questions you have. But on the how, meditation is huge. Starting your day, connecting with the universe, with God, with love, is getting you reconnected with source, okay? Also, walking in nature, spending time in nature, doing breathing exercises, reading high vibrational books, spiritual books, listening to podcasts, listening to videos like this, that you want to, as often as you can, have reminders, be doing something in that moment that helps you remember, that helps you stay awake, that is just as you're doing it, is the reminder of the natural joy that you are. Have you ever listened to something, maybe even just yes, this is it. And all of a sudden you go back in your life and you're like, oh my gosh, I was feeling so good earlier. The more you consciously raise your vibration, the more that becomes your set point. That's a big thing I like to teach is like, you know, we all want to be just jump from here to there and stuff, but there's usually, you know, it's possible to just all of a sudden become enlightened, right? I don't think there's many of us on this planet who go straight from here to there. And it's this process of raising your vibration. Some would call that the ascension process, and that you become just more attuned to this new higher vibration, and that's your new set point. That's where you're operating from. And you'll notice as you let go of like old maybe relationships or friendships that don't serve that or aren't on that same vibration, problems that just used to happen don't happen anymore. And then you'll have a new layer of things to deal with, of things to heal, of things to let go, right? But that's the blissfully process, is that you focus on, you know, what's real, this moment. You let go of the things that aren't true, the illusions, right? To allow the joy that's here right now to be felt. And you remember as often as you possibly can. And the more you do this, it is a process. It's not just like that. Like you can make great strides, but we're not looking at like going like this, like you know what I mean? We're looking at like going like this, okay? Like it's this gentle ride up. Otherwise it can be pretty jolting, and you can think that it's not working. You can think that you're not making progress, and that you then judge yourself, and then you quit. And all of a sudden, a year later, you're like, I'm back where I was 5 years ago, you know, just feeling that way. So focus on feeling the joy. Focus on the abundance, focus on the love. There's so many different ways I'll be teaching that. And on that note, I've created a free community, okay? In that community, we're gonna support each other. I'll be answering more questions. There is a free course. I've got lots of big things planned for that, but you can just go to my website, blissflowly.com, and you can find the link to get into the free community. I look forward to seeing you there. If this has been helpful, inspiring, I would really appreciate a like. That goes a long ways. I would love for you to subscribe. I'd love to share this with other people, and let me know how it can be of service. Let me know what would be helpful. What in this video did you not quite understand? I'll answer it in the comments, and I might do another video in the future. So I'm so excited to be getting to do this with all of you. I believe that we're one. I believe there was no accident you came to this video. There was no accident that I created this. And if you've been looking for a way to really live your bliss, really live your purpose, really understand who you are, and you want some guidance, you want some help, I think this is part of that. And those are questions that I used to seek, and I still seek. And we get to be and do this together as one. So much love, my friend. I'll look forward to talking to you soon, and see you on the next video. Bye-bye.